you have to be competitive with your pricing. When you're at the top of the pricing, people are going to wonder why. Why are you so expensive? The same as when you're at the bottom, people say, well, why is he so cheap? It's not real. Is this fake? Honesty is really the key.
Hi, Chef. My name is Paola, and on this episode of Private Chef Interviews, we're joined by Chef Ty Nielsen, gold medalist of the Pacific Regional 2024 Culinary Challenge. Chef Nielsen entered the competition as a culinary manager for UC Riverside Dining Services and won with his own recipe, Serve and Serve. He has a long record of success as both a private chef and a manager, which takes maintaining a balance between your costs and your prices. Today, Chef Nielsen will share his thoughts on how to stay profitable and attractive to your clients.
I guess first and foremost, you have to make sure you're paying yourself. Different dishes, different garnishes, your own style takes time. You just need to make sure that it's worth your time. Traveling, they're going to the stores, sourcing produce and product, everything takes time. I don't think a lot of new chefs realize how much time actually goes into making your dish. So, you really have to figure out what you put into the dish and make sure you're being compensated for it. For me, when I first started out, I did some research, looked at, what other chefs in the area were charging, what other companies are charging. You don't want to be the cheapest person on the block, but you don't want to be the most expensive. But you do want to charge for the experience that you give. If you're just going in and doing one or two courses and simple meal, obviously you don't want to be charging the same for a 5-course, elaborate dinner where you have bartenders and servers and things like that. You really have to put in perspective what you want to achieve, and then just look around, see what's out there, and then what's valuable to you. And I think when I started out, I was towards the bottom level of what I was charging because I didn't know. I was still trying to figure things out, and I didn't want my guests walking away and being like, wow, I paid a lot of money and it was just okay. I would rather, what's the saying, under promise and over deliver. I think the big one's just competition. There's a lot of chefs out there, especially if you're in a large area like LA, New York, Chicago. You have to be competitive with your pricing. And like I said, when you're at the top of the pricing, people are going to wonder why. Why are you so expensive? The same as when you're at the bottom, people say, well, why is he so cheap? It's not real. Is this fake? Like, working with all the competition that, is out there, that's really the hardest thing to get through. When I'm pricing out a menu, I put all costs into there. I figure out my mileage. I figure out, by the menu that I'm submitting, what my time will be. There's a lot of different variations of serving styles. It could be family style. It could be plated. It could be hors d'oeuvres, like a cocktail hour. So I take all of those into the equation and give them one price up front. I don't like to surprise my clients by saying, oh, well, your dinner is going to be this amount, but I need to charge for travel and then charge another time and extra money. Because then I feel like the clients are already kind of put, on a defense, and then they start wondering if this is really worth it. You can give them all the pricing up front and just include it. Don't make it muddy by adding a lot of different fees. Just be, one price up front, all inclusive of your entire experience. And honesty is really the key. I give them the entire experience, or I try to explain the entire experience to them. I show up, I'll go through their kitchen and, start setting up, my equipment. And then when I'm done, I always tell them I try to leave the kitchen better than it was when I got there. And you'll never know I was there except for a full belly. take the trash out, do the dishes, really try to exceed their expectations. The last thing you want is for some, stranger to come into your kitchen, make a mess, and then leave. So try to put that all out there that, this is a total experience. I'm going to be personable with you, answer any questions, please take pictures, have fun with it. A lot of times these are groups just for a weekend out, a weekend getaway. They want to have fun. So, be part of the experience with them and let them know, you're there to enhance the experience and have fun with them. And, we'll do dinner at this time and it'll probably take about this long. Allow them to plan around and have fun with it. Yeah, so I think when you stick with a pricing model, you have to engineer your menu around that. For certain dinners, I'll do elaborate garnishes that take a long time. If I'm spending several hours doing prep, I need to make sure that I'm getting my compensation for it. That might not be something that I put into a basic menu pricing scale, but I do want to create a great experience. I do want to create a great meal. So not lacking on the flavor, the presentation of the dish, but I might not put in some of the flair items that I would with, a more expensive. It all depends on the guest. Sometimes people want a basic dinner and they're not looking for anything fancy. They don't want to cook. But then you have some people that this could be their 50th anniversary. Maybe they're proposing to their loved one, whatever it is. Those you might want to make a little extra. I keep track of all my receipts, all my mileage. When I start bidding for clients, I always look at what the location is and how many miles it's going to take me. How much gas does my car use? So all those little things equate into the costs of your business. And you just have to be very meticulous, very organized, keep track of all your costs, and try to forecast those things, knowing, next month I have maybe it's a rent for a kitchen that you're using or even, using your own kitchen, you have to pay rent and mortgage for that. But it's part of your business. You just have to really dig down and look at all the costs that are associated with it that you wouldn't normally think about. Save every receipt, write everything down. That's, that would be my best tip. Then when you write things down, you create lists for your events to come, and it just makes life easier. With private chefs, unlike restaurants, you're typically stuck with one or two vendors to get your product. Being a private chef, it's a little easier to go to different markets. You have your farmers markets, you have your basic grocery stores, you have your high-end grocery stores. So you have a little bit more lenience to find prices that are a little more consistent. Year over year, life gets more expensive. So you just have to really put that into perspective. And if it's increasing the cost of your menu every year by 5%, 10% to cover your costs, sometimes that's what you have to do. Or if you have a very expensive ingredient, can it be switched out for something a little less expensive? Maybe not changing the whole dish, but it's a small tweaks you can make to the recipe to make it a little more cost effective. Seasonal produce is always the best quality, and it's normally the cheapest. Keeping your menu relevant with the times and the seasons is the best cost saver you can have. When your produce is in season for the summer or the winter, the quality's great. You'll have great flavors, you'll have great presentations, and it's available. So it's not coming from across the country or different countries. It's normally local, so you don't have all those delivery fees and costs associated with it, and it keeps the price down. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend if you can keep your menu seasonal. That's your best practice for sure. So I use Excel. It's a very just basic tool. You can kind of do whatever you want with it. Keep track of all my receipts and my mileage and everything in there. It's a very simple tool. You can find tips and tricks online. Doesn't cost anything. Normally, I would say that's my definitely go-to tool to keeping track of my costs. And I can always go back and look at what I paid for something and try to get a trend of where costs are going. I love using Excel. I'm sure there's some great software out there, but it costs money. Don't shortchange yourself just to get a sale or a business. Stick to your pricing. If you feel that's valuable and means a lot to you, then you should stick to it and give it some time. I think I was in Take a Chef for 3 months before I got my first job experience. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of different chefs. There's a lot of competition. Just let it grow naturally. Don't try not force it, because I think when you force it, then it feels forced to the guest. When it's more natural and you feel comfortable with what you're doing, I think it shows in the final product. If I'm trying to do something cheap, am I going to put the same effort into it as someone that's paying me a lot of money? And I try to keep that mentality. And if I'm comfortable, I can comfortably produce a menu, a great experience. But if I'm not too comfortable, I might not put my best foot forward. I'm Chef Ty Nielsen. Thanks for watching. I hope you learned something, and hopefully it helps you in your business in the future. Make sure to follow and watch all the different media channels that we have, and reach out if you have questions. The chef world is an amazing world. There's a lot of people out there to help. Almost everyone's been in the same situation at one time or another. We all started off somewhere. It's a great journey, and I look forward to it.
Thank you for watching until the end, Chef. Valuing your operational costs and prices is a dynamic and continuous process. We hope this episode gave you some insight and strategies to apply to your business. For a more in-depth guide on what to consider when setting your prices, check out our Private Chef School episode on pricing. If you enjoyed the video, give us a like and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to ring the bell to get alerts every time we upload another interview like this. See you next time.
If you enjoyed this video, remember to like and subscribe and hit the bell to get alerts every time we upload a new video. I'll see you next time.